She asked to see what the tapes were, and I showed her a box of videotapes of my late wife in my closet. Things were going fine until yesterday morning. I was looking for the tapes because I wanted to put them in a prettier box for my daughter. And when I went to go find them, the box wasn't in my closet.
Nah, man.
I looked everywhere to the point I walked downstairs to see my wife laying on the couch watching TV. I asked her about the box, and she told me she threw it away with a neutral expression.
What? Threw away the box of the tapes?
Come on.
Oh, hell no. What?
Right.
My heart dropped, and I asked her, what did she mean? She told me that I talked about Chloe too much and that I needed to move on with my life, so she threw them away as a head start.
Damn, man. Picture this. You go through one of the worst losses a person can experience. You lose your wife or your husband in a tragic accident. But before they're gone, you manage to hold on to something priceless. Recordings, memories, pieces of them that your child can one day hear and cherish. You protect these things for years, waiting for the right moment to pass them down. And then one day, you go to get them and they're gone. They're not lost. They're not misplaced. They're thrown away by the person who is supposed to love you now. This is one of those crazy ass stories, the kind that makes you question relationships, jealousy, and forgiveness. And we got to tap into it right here on Champ Talk Reactions. Let's get it. What's good with the YouTube friends and family? This right here is Champ Talk Reactions, and we're back here with another video. This one today might be one of the most emotional and honestly frustrating relationship stories that I have come across in a minute. Because we're not just talking about jealousy, we're talking about loss, boundaries, respect, and whether something like this is even forgivable. But what really gets to me about this story is the intention behind it. Was this about insecurity? Was it a control thing? Or was this about something deeper here? We're not just going to react to this story today, though. We're going to jump into some comments. We need to see what the internet thinks and check the temperature on the situation. But as we go through this story, I need you guys to let me know what you're thinking down in the comment section. Are you forgiving somebody for something like this? Or is this a deal breaker? Let's get ready to get into it. Let's get it.
The asshole for ignoring my wife for throwing away my late wife's videotapes.
That's always crazy.
Right.
I am writing this because I don't know what to do. I have a daughter with my late wife. My daughter's name is Eleanor. That's a great name. That's my grandmother's name.
Oh, yeah.
Old name.
My daughter's birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. She's turning 18. A little background. Me and my late wife, Chloe, have been dating since college. We got older and ended up getting married. After our wedding, she shared news to me that she was pregnant, and I was excited that we were expecting our first child.
Okay.
Since it was our first child, we brought a video camera and made little tapes and snippets of the whole pregnancy. We made a promise to only show Eleanor the tapes on her 18th birthday. Fast forward 2 years after giving birth, Chloe passed away.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
Due to a drunk driver crashing into her car as she was coming home from her mother's house.
That's terrible.
It is terrible.
Damn, I couldn't even imagine, man.
I was devastated of her passing and went into a deep depression and having to raise a 2-year-old daughter all by myself. My friends tried to get me out again and to start back dating, but every time I did, I felt like I was betraying Chloe.
Damn, man. But honestly, who could even blame them, man? Losing your wife or your husband like this, so sudden, so tragic like this. In this situation, like, you got to realize you're not just dealing with the loss itself. You're trying to process everything that comes along with it, because your entire life literally just changed overnight in what could have seemed like the snap of a finger. And you got to think about it like this. In this type of situation, this man just went from a family of 3 to a family of 2. And now he has to figure out what parenting looks like and what raising this child looks like without that other parent forever. Not just a momentarily situation right here. But at the same time, as that child continues to age and get older and over, he has to help them manage their feelings around losing their mother at such a young age, especially when they're going out and they're seeing other kids have their mothers pick them up from schools, mother-daughter dances. They're seeing all of these things. You got to help your child manage those feelings. So this is not something that may be just easy to move on from. And from the outside looking in, you might think it's just an easier said than done type of situation. But if I'm being real about this right here, I can also see the other side of the aisle right here. Like your friends and your family, your close relatives wanting what's best for you, wanting to see you okay, wanting you to push forward, giving you that little motivation to get back out there. But we all have to realize that grief is different for everybody. And that's not a process that you can rush, right? The situation is just so tough in this one right here, in this story right here, that it's just kind of hard for me to wrap my head around. But let's continue and let's see where this goes. Let's get back into it.
Years later, when Eleanor turned 13, I met Wendy. I have a feeling I'm not going to like Wendy.
Really?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like that.
Just from the title.
True.
We met at a gathering for my sister's birthday, and we instantly hit it off. She didn't mind that I had a daughter because she had 2 kids of her own and had just went through a divorce. 2 years later, we got married. Now back to the present. Eleanor's 18th birthday is coming up, and I kept all the tapes for me to show her of her mother. Mind you, her mother died when she was just 2, so Eleanor doesn't remember her touch or her voice.
Right.
I was excited to show her the tapes, and a week ago, I was talking to Wendy about it, and I noticed her expression going from happy to looking a little bit uncomfortable.
Damn.
Wendy would always get uncomfortable when I talked about my late wife. But I didn't say things like, why can't you be more like Chloe? Or Chloe was my one and only true love. But I did talk about her in a way to give my daughter a mental picture of what her mother was like.
Right.
Wendy has always talked to me about Chloe and how it made her sad that she could never be like her.
What?
Chloe was a model that started working in her fashion career. And don't get me wrong, she was a really beautiful woman, while Wendy had 2 kids in college and not in the best shape. And that's in her words. I love both women as they are. I've never had a preference, but I feel like Wendy is gaining some jealousy towards Chloe.
Sheesh.
I told Wendy that I love her just as she is, and she broke down crying.
Wow.
The next day, Wendy apologized for the way she acted last night. I told her it was okay, and it's good that she felt comfortable to share her feelings. And I gave her a tight hug and a kiss on the forehead.
Okay.
She asked to see where the tapes were, and I showed her a box of videotapes of my late wife in my closet. Things were going fine until yesterday morning. I was looking for the tapes because I wanted to put them in a prettier box for my daughter. And when I went to go find them, the box wasn't in my closet.
Wild.
I looked everywhere to the point I walked downstairs to see my wife laying on the couch watching TV. I asked her about the box, and she told me she threw it away with a neutral expression.
Damn.
What? Threw away the box of the tapes?
Yes.
Oh, hell no. What?
My heart dropped, and I asked her, what did she mean? She told me that I talked about Chloe too much and that I needed to move on with my life, so she threw them away as a head start.
Damn, man, you mean to tell me this man saved recordings of his late wife's memories for his daughter? Something that she could never, ever get back. Something that could never be replaced in her life. And you decided on your own to throw them away without even having a conversation with this man. This is beyond crossing the line. This is something that, in my opinion, you could never, ever come back from. Because this isn't about you feeling uncomfortable or you feeling some type of way. This is about that child who lost their mother and the last connection that she will ever have to her. You took that decision into your own hands, out of line. Out of line. And it's not just a mistake. You made an actual choice. You got to remember that this is something that you got to live with. So whatever decision that this man decides to make after this, you did it. You brought it on yourself. This is wild to me, man. This is crazy.
Oh, wow.
I was fuming with anger because not only she threw away what I had left of her, she threw away my daughter's big surprise.
Right.
We quickly got into an argument. She noticed how angry I was and she started apologizing. It got to the point where I started crying and locked myself into our bedroom. It's the morning and I'm writing in my office, going through my computer, finding old files or any videos I have left of my late wife to give to my daughter, because sometimes my daughter still cries that she never had a chance to meet her mother. And I really thought it would bring her closer to her. I've been ignoring my wife for the past day, and she's been texting me nonstop about how sorry she is, but I really just can't look at her right now. It's getting to the point that our mutual friends are texting me to accept her apology and get over it. since Chloe died over 10 years ago.
What?
But I'm trying to ignore them all because they never had someone so close to them die. I am working on finding these files, and I'm starting to think I'm overreacting. I don't know what to do. I really need help.
Damn, man, this one right here is really hard to wrap your head around. You know what I'm saying? And this is the moment where I have to ask you as the audience, do you guys feel like this is forgivable, or do you think this is where you walk away for good? And you have to be real with me. Like, I need to know if you even feel like you could ever trust them again. I know the internet had a lot to say about it, so we're going to go ahead and get ready to jump into some of the comments and just see what people had to say about this situation, and I need to know if you agree with it. So let's go ahead and go to the big screen and get into these comments. All right, y'all. The first comment that we have comes from Dark and Lovely, who says divorce immediately with about 15 exclamation points. Listen, you didn't overdo it with this one. I just want you to know that. So if you see this video, know you didn't overdo it, because a lot of people in the comment section felt the exact same way that you did. A lot of people were saying, get up and get out of there quick, fast, in a hurry. So we follow your sentiment and we respect it. The second comment comes from Venus Deity, who says it perplexes me how people get in their feelings about someone having a life before them. I would not have thrown anything away. Venus, you understand that you don't erase someone's past because you can't. You either can respect it or you check it, especially in a situation like this where someone has experienced a tragic loss. It just is what it is. Next up, we have Rose Johnson, who says, get far away from them so-called mutual friends too. They're not helping the situation at all. I felt the exact same way at the end of the video, hearing what they were saying, trying to push you back, saying just forgive her and go. Listen, that's not how life works. Those are her friends, bro. Those aren't your friends. They didn't care nothing about you, your daughter, or you and your daughter's feelings. Those are not your friends. The next comment that we have comes from yours truly, number one, who says, I'm filing for divorce the very next day. That's not my person. Hey, listen, man, you understand like we understand, man. That woman right there, man, that woman right there. That's all I can say. The last comment comes from Nova Bell, who says, turns out she had the tapes in her car. She hid them. She ended up bringing them back, so he has the tapes, but the damage is already done. I agree wholeheartedly with that last statement. I believe the damage is already done. In my mind, like, I can't wrap my head around it. Why would you play with somebody like that? Why would you play with somebody like this about this type of situation? This is a tragic loss. These are memories for this young lady, this young adult going into her life, for her to have of her mother and learn how to deal with as she continued to age and get older and older. Why would you do this? Why would you say I threw them away, but you really still have them? And why are you hiding them? They're not yours. They're not for you. Man, like, this really got to me, y'all. Y'all got to let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. Could you have come back from this situation? I don't think that I could have, but I need to know what you think, man. Let me know your thoughts. You comment, I comment. You react, I react back. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hype the video so other people can see this one. This one right here was a goodie, man. I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. See y'all later, man. Peace side up, sideways. Holler at y'all.